it's Auntie Judy.
Hi, it's Barry.
Hi, it's Jeff.
Hi, it's Ken.
Hi, it's Mama.
Hi, it's Connie.
Hi, it's Lori.
Hey, it's Curtis and... Oh, I screwed up.
I think you ought to leave it like that. Just leave it like that.
That was good.
I forgot I had to say my name. It is Curtis, and hey, geeks, when we're not at our favorite restaurant, Ohana, at the Polynesian Resort, we get all of our friends together for pot stickers, noodles, chicken wings, grilled steak, and bread pudding, and we go geeking on Walt Disney World! Yeah! Woo!
Yay!
Thanks, guys. Hey, Disney World geeks, Curtis Stone here, and welcome to episode 407 of the Geekin' on Walt Disney World podcast. This week we got Glen Kessler, and he reviews his final father and son trip, his 5-year-old trips that he's done with his other boys. This is the last one. He's going to Disney World, including lots of new restaurant experiences, and his infamous hacks and tips. Glen is well known for. Well, I've been having fun chatting with Disney World fans and geeks for over 7 years. If you're new to the podcast, welcome. And I started the podcast with my daughter, Lindsay, and we began by talking about our Disney World trips. And then when we brought on other Disney geeks to tell their stories, our listeners are positive, caring, and generous. We do encourage a family atmosphere here on the podcast. And before too long, they were calling me the Podfather, and I continue to bring you on, the listeners, to tell your Disney World stories. We'd love for you to join our Geekin' family. We've got an amazing private discussion group in Facebook. Search for Geekin' on WDW Family in Facebook, and that's a place you can go there, ask your questions, share your trip pictures, just engage with one of the best Disney groups and geeks out there on the internet. We're also independent authorized travel agents with Fairy Tale Concierge. We got Mama and Auntie Judy. They're available there to help you book your room, your dining reservations, and help you make that fun trip down to Disney World. You can just email them. That's the best way to get a hold of them at travelingtiaras@gmail.com. If you look at your podcast app, you'll see the email there and contact them. They'll get you started. And I'm ready to talk to Mom and Auntie Judy. We call it Talking with the Traveling Tiaras. Hey, Mom. Hi, Judy.
Hey, Curtis. Hey, geeks.
Hi, Curtis. Hi, Judy. And hi, geeks.
Hey, Mama. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I'm good.
Not like we don't talk every hour of the day. So
the rain.
I think I talk more to you than I do to Curtis, to be honest with you.
I would agree with that.
Good. Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys been busy this week?
Actually,
Yeah.
Happened.
You know, I know we got mostly news to talk about. Just coincidentally, we've got a new listener, or at least new to the Facebook group, Mike Pate. Hello, Mike.
Hey. Hi, Mike. Welcome.
I always ask a couple questions before they get into the private Facebook group, and ask about a topic that you'd like to hear about from Disney World. And he says, news, closures, and food. Well, I don't think anything's closing right now. Well, maybe sometimes they do still for maintenance and like that.
That's what I'm thinking.
I know something that's close. I'm not sure the dates, but I know Travis's favorite ride is going to go down for refurbishment. And no, it's not Flight of Passage. Small World.
His other favorite. Yeah.
Yeah. It's going down for refurbishment.
All right. Well, Mom, you got some news?
Yeah, we had a lot of news this week. So I've got 2 items here I just wanted to fill everybody in on. The first one, which is really exciting. I don't know, you guys are today is actually Sunday, the 18th. You're not going to hear this till tomorrow, but the Epcot monorail beam opened. Yay! Yay! Yeah. So it's up and running. They've got some nice pretty new signage over at the Epcot station. I guess you can get on an hour before the park opens, so that's around 10, and it will run till 1 hour after park closing. So that's exciting, isn't it?
Everyone's been asking that.
Waiting for that.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, and my other piece of information was the Swan, the Dolphin, and the Swan Reserve, the new hotel over there. All three of those resorts are going to participate in the early and the extended evening entry hours, just like the deluxe resorts and the villas do. I know there was some question last week, and I even saw it on our page that the Swan and Dolphin weren't actually involved in that yet. So people were kind of getting a little nervous about that, but they are. It's official. So there you go.
Excellent. Those are pretty good resorts to stay at, right in the middle of the action. One of my favorite spots. First place I ever went to, Swan and Dolphin.
Yeah, right.
So that
whole area is so much fun just to walk around and just, I don't know, you feel like you're in the middle of something when you're over there, right? It's a different vibe than being over at Magic Kingdom area, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. You can walk to Epcot and you can walk to Hollywood Studios.
Yeah, great memories of walking around there for my conferences.
It's great.
Hey,
great
but
area.
I got to ask you too, what'd you think of that introduction? Do you remember that day at Connie's?
Oh, that was such a fun evening. Yeah, I do.
We did.
Yeah, that was several years ago already. Wow.
Last week we were talking about the new food menu items at Ohana. We did an Ohana day or food and fun and drinks, and also recorded that intro a few years ago. So that's with Barry. Yeah, Barry and Jeff McCartney.
Right.
Lori, Ken, and Judy, and Mom and I. That was a lot of fun.
Connie. Yep, at Connie and Lori's house.
Exactly.
Yeah. Fun.
All right, Judy, you got some news to cover also.
Yeah, yes. The first one is fireworks cruises are back.
Oh, yay.
And they're going to be $399 for up to 10 people. You can book at 60 days out. And it said that assorted snacks and drinks are available, but I'm not sure if that might be an extra cost. But they're available at both Magic Kingdom and Epcot. The boats will depart from all of the Magic Kingdom resorts, including Wilderness Lodge. And for the Epcot fireworks, it will leave from the Yacht Club dock.
So that's up about $50 from the time we did it for G3 back in 2019. Yeah. And they did have chips and snacks and they brought soft drinks.
And then I have some other news that's kind of Disney related. The first one is a lovable hippopotamus made a splashy debut on Monday. You can find the mom and the baby on the Safai River at the Kilimanjaro Safari. And this baby will join 9 other hippos in the family. Tuba and Henry are the parents. And
wait, Tuba,
Tuma, Tuma.
Okay.
And they were actually paired as part of the Species Survival Plan, which is overseen by the Association of Zoos and Aquariums.
Nice.
So the baby is already out. You can see him on the safari.
Oh, he's so cute too, isn't he? Like a little ball of something or other. He is adorable.
About 500 pounds.
And we have another birth to announce. Gorilla Mama Azizi welcomed her infant on Tuesday.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then she introduced her newborn to the family troupe. This momentous occasion could be seen by those visiting the Gorilla Falls Exploration Trail. And Azizi and the baby's father, Gino, they're celebrating this second child. And their big brother, Corey, was born back in 2014.
That's so great.
The pictures of the mama, Azizi, holding this baby and looking at him, it's absolutely horrible.
Such a great, fantastic job they're doing down there at Animal Kingdom.
They sure are.
Good. Yeah,
they sure are.
We really enjoyed watching those at your house, the Animal Kingdom on Disney Plus.
I love those. Those are so good.
They do a lot of the baby reviews.
I know, and showing the babies being, right after they're born.
Yeah.
And it's so great. And then there was Wendy Fox who actually got to watch the birth of a baby giraffe.
I know.
She just happened to be on the trail when it happened. That's so
good
cool.
timing, Wendy. Yeah, really.
I don't know about the hippos, but definitely the gorillas are endangered, and I know they also talked about the rhinos that Didn't they have success there with the rhino?
I think so.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So
I think that was on one of those Disney Plus programs, wasn't it?
Very
With the rhino?
popular. I know the geeks have been watching those.
somewhere.
They're really good.
Yeah.
I hope they do more of those. We need
Oh, I
more.
know, yeah.
Yes. Two little pieces of news. This is upcoming movies. I love the movies. I love to go to the theater. And that's one of the things I've really missed during this great unpleasantness. And I found out that Antonio Banderas from The Mask of Zorro and Spy Kids is joining the cast of the new Indiana Jones adventure,
Yeah, right.
along with Harrison Ford.
That's crazy.
That's going to be awesome to watch.
That is going to be so awesome. I cannot believe Harrison Ford. He's like 80 now,
I know.
you know?
Yeah, but he's still
Oh, boy.
Even
Yeah.
at 80, he's still a hunk.
Good for him.
Oh, yeah, we'll give him that. Good for him. Yeah.
You know. And then there was an announcement about an untitled new live action movie that will center around Cinderella's evil stepsisters.
I saw
it
that
says-
too. Yeah.
It says this classic fairy tale will transform into a musical comedy while taking the point of view of Cinderella's stepsisters. The
Cool.
film takes place from their early childhood through Cinderella's marriage to the prince and beyond. So it sounds like
Very
a
interesting. Yeah.
No
Yeah,
date or
those girls,
title or
they're
anything.
something else.
I know. So that's just a little bit of news that I found this week.
Yeah, there was a lot of it.
There was a lot of
stuff
news.
coming out all at once. Yeah.
A lot of things opening up. This is all good. We got a lot of people down in the parks. We got Glenn and Jeff Kessler and
And Rob Madiri.
Rob Madiri. I just saw
Oh, Megan.
And Dorsey.
Megan Dorsey.
Megan Dorsey. Yeah. I just saw, didn't Glenn put a picture of a meetup with
Yes.
him and Rob and Selena
Oh, I didn't see that yet.
and Jackie?
Yeah, it's a great picture.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jackie
Yeah.
and Selena are there. Oh, so
with
jealous.
their kids, right? And I think it was Rob and his son were there.
I think
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm going to do a round table for that trip report so I can get
Oh,
them all
yeah.
in.
Great. And then Glenn and Jeff went to Ohana's last night for dinner,
Oh, right.
and they gave thumbs up.
Oh, good. I didn't.
Yeah.
Wow, I haven't been
Yeah.
looking in there today. It was only a little bit
Yeah.
early this morning. Okay, I've got a hidden magic for you guys. And speaking of meetups, don't we have a meetup coming up in Albany in July?
Yes, we do.
What's the date?
July 31st.
Wendy Fox is hosting it up in Albany. Well, if you want to go to the Albany meetup, see us, we'll be there. And then Wendy's hosting, and we got a bunch of local folks going up to
Yeah.
Albany.
Rob and Katie are coming from Philadelphia.
Yeah, that's
Yay!
very cool. Yeah, so we'll contact Wendy or even email or message me and just let us know that you're coming. I know she's looking for an RSVP to see how many people because she's getting some
Yeah.
food.
Yeah.
We'll have some games and just have some real good times hanging out together. It
Yeah.
was real fun last time. All right, I got to.
Well,
Oh, before you give your thing, Travis is hosting an Ohio meetup that will be in Cleveland, Ohio on August 21st.
Right.
And get in touch with Travis, but I think they're meeting up for brunch at a place called the Flying Fig, which is kind of downtown, but across the river from downtown. And then I think they have some other ideas of things they want to do.
Awesome.
I know the options are going to go, and Chris Futrell is going to be there.
I know that. He said that on the
No.
Zoom call
that's
this week.
nice.
And
Yeah,
They got a lot of geeks in Ohio.
sounds really cool.
Very cool. It's fun to see each other, even if we're not at the parks, for sure. All right. This is from Hidden Magic, Walt Disney World. Susan Venice is the author. This is one of Mom and Judy's favorite places in Epcot. Spaceship Earth.
Oh, yeah. So good.
Definitely.
So good.
What is it about
So
Spaceship
good.
Earth?
Yeah. Oh, what is it about it?
Yeah, why do you like that so much?
Oh, it's you know me, I'm a huge fan of the dark rides, and it is just so it's edutainment,
It is.
right?
It is.
And it's the animatronics. I love animatronic figures more than any screen ride you can imagine. I just love those. I love the music in it. I love the narration. I love the scenes, the smell when Rome burning. I mean, I've probably written it 200 times and it just never gets old, you know?
And Uncle Grumpy says that he thinks the best narrator of Spaceship Earth ever was Walter Cronkite.
He does, yeah.
Yes, he really liked the way Walter Cronkite did it, and they've changed it a couple of times. But if you want to have some real fun on Spaceship Earth, you know, at the beginning when you press the screen for the language, try a different language.
Oh, I thought you were going someplace else.
No. I did it. I tried it in Chinese one time.
Okay.
Which was fun to listen because you know the script pretty well, and to hear it in another language, it was just a lot of fun.
That's a riot. Good one, Judy.
Yeah.
Well, I wonder, you guys love this attraction. I wonder if you know this little fun fact, some hidden magic. Well, who is the computer guy sitting in the garage inventing the personal computer?
Oh.
Well, don't say. Pam Fisher,
okay.
Walt Disney Imagineer and senior show writer, says the garage scene is an
Homage.
is an homage to all the young dreamers working out of their garages and on their kitchen tables, perfecting all the technologies needed to create the personal computer. Hewlett-Packard started in the garage, Apple started in the garage, but there was also many other nameless people in Northern California working in their own garages at the time, figuring out the other parts of the puzzle. This scene is a salute to them all.
Except that the computer that you see on there is an Apple, so you got to figure it's
yeah.
Well,
I think it was before, really early, right? Wasn't it? I always thought it was not Steve Jobs, but
Steve Wozniak.
Wozniak, yeah. I don't know. For some reason, that's stuck in my brain.
Bill Gates. I thought it was Bill Gates.
No, I thought I looked at the computer and it looked to me like it was the early Mac computer.
That's your imagination because it's not.
Yeah.
I know it's not. I knew that.
Yeah.
You both knew that?
I did, yes.
Oh, okay. You guys do know everything.
No, we don't know everything, but
Most everything, though.
mostly. Okay. I'll go with that.
All right,
Yeah,
then.
great job.
I think we're all set for this week.
Well, Curtis, don't you want to tell the geeks about your June coming up trip?
Oh, I didn't know if you wanted to share that yet. But you did some work yesterday.
Oh, we can share it.
Yeah, let's do it.
Go for it, Marky.
Okay. Well, let Kurt go ahead. He's the one that gets excited for it.
For June.
Yeah.
Well, yesterday I was sitting on the bed upstairs watching TV, and Mom comes up and jumps on the bed.
Oh, God.
Oh, is this
No. It's all about Disney World. I don't know. What was I thinking? I figured she already knew what she was doing, but she was asking me questions. Should she book the Bay Lake Tower for our June trip, which I thought was the plan all along, because I think that's a good idea.
It wasn't, should I book the Bay Lake Tower? That's the only thing we could book right now.
Yeah.
The question was, it was a little bit of a different, it'd been so long since we booked that the way you book it online looked a little bit different. And I was asking you about why it was asking me to bank points. And then I realized, oh yeah, because our 2022 use year starts on June 1st. So of course I had to bank 2021, but I couldn't figure that out at the time. So
yeah, but the first thing you asked me though, should I wait till 7 months because you want to do Polynesian? But I said, no, you got to book 11 months out at Bay Lake Tower, 2-bedroom. That was your first question.
You know what? Judy and I were talking about it yesterday, and I think we want to stay there. Right,
Yeah.
Judy?
I do.
I think we're into like the Bay Lake
Well,
You know what?
instead of
What's nice
trying
about
at 7
Bay Lake
months.
is
'Cause
that
last time we did stay at Polynesian, right?
we did.
So, it's been a while.
And the thing about Bay Lake is you don't have to go outside to get your coffee in the morning. Everything is right there. And you can walk to the Magic Kingdom. That's the
I
biggest.
know. Love that. I know.
Yeah.
There's just so many positives to
I
it.
know.
well, we got plenty of time to talk about it before the 7-month window to look
And
at.
then when we have our big anniversary dinner, we could go up to the Cali Grill and drink to our heart's content and not have to get on a bus or a boat or
Just have to get on the elevator and the elevator.
go to the elevator and go back to the room.
We got
Yeah.
lots of tough decisions to make between now and
Yes,
then.
we do. I know.
Well, we got plenty of time, so that's fun. We got our June anniversary trip booked.
We're in the planning stages. I know where Kurt wants to stay.
Where?
He'd want to stay out at Wilderness Lodge.
Oh,
Ooh.
Yeah, look at the eyes. Yes.
yeah. No.
Wouldn't mind doing a split stay somewhere too, but we'll debate that. We got plenty of time, and I'm looking forward for that. It was fun to book DVC finally again. All right, guys. Thanks for coming on and giving us your news, and we'll talk to you next week.
Okay, Curtis.
Bye,
Talk
Kurt.
to you next week, Kurt.
Bye,
Bye.
Mama.
Bye.
Oh, I love talking with Mom and Judy about Disney World every single week for you guys and for the show. And now, another one of my favorite guys to bring on to do a trip report. Glen Kessler is coming on. He's the featured trip report this week. He teased me. It took him a couple of weeks. He went out for a work trip out to New Mexico. So I had to be patient. And now you get to hear Glen's third and final 5-year-old dad-son trip. If you remember, if you've been listening to the show for a while, he's taken his other 2 boys. I think they're a couple of years apart. He's got 3 boys. Yeah, he had to put this one off a little bit because of the great unpleasantness, but they did not stay in a tent. He's learned, the third one, you learn a lot of things from your first 2 kids. I can attest to that. And they stayed at Pop Century like they've done with the other boys. They do lots of food. Yeah, they did a great job with some great ADRs. Several of these are ones that Glen had never done before. So you get to hear Glen review some restaurants that we've been talking about. He listens to them and he goes out and checks them. So Chef Mickey's, Yak and Yeti, Cape May Cafe, San Angel Inn. He does a $30 margarita. That's pretty fun. Beaches and Cream for the first time. I was surprised by that, but he definitely heard it here on the podcast. And he's got a great tip going over to Tony's in Magic Kingdom. Some good reviews there. A vegetarian lobster roll. That is strange. You know how much we talk about lobster rolls here on the podcast. He does have some stories. One was one of the worst starts to a trip that he's ever had. And then you're going to get a couple of Glen's famous hacks and tips. Well, I know you guys love these father-son trips that Glen's been doing with his boys. You can really get a lot done when there's just 2 of you, and you can learn a lot about your kids when you spend some quality time like that. Solo, one-on-one, let's go down to Disney World with Glen and Alden. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. It's July 4th weekend. I took a Friday off and extending it to 4 days. What could be more fun than a 4-day weekend on a holiday in the summer? How about talking to one of your favorite super geeks about his latest trip? Plus, he's been teasing me. It's been so long that he's been back from this trip. I can't believe he put me through this, and now I'm so excited to bring this wonderful super geek back to the podcast. Well, this super geek, he gives so much back to the community, the podcast, and to me personally, he was the first listener to sport a Geekin' t-shirt in the parks. He sees the park hours of operation as a direct challenge. He'll never try camping in a tent at Fort Wilderness again, and he was the first to coin the phrase, "It's 11 a.m. somewhere." He's one in a million. Please give a warm Geekin' family welcome to super geeker Glen Kessler.
Hey, Kurt. Hey, geeks. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, I still wear that T-shirt, moth holes and all. And that tent story actually comes from the first 5-year-old trip I took with with my big AJ. And, of course, we're going to talk about the third little guy, Alden, today and his 5-year-old trip. So nice.
Well, if I haven't said it lately, Glen, I want you to know I love you, Glen.
I know, Kurt. I know.
We got to get that T-shirt.
That's a great one. Yes. Oh, my
I was thinking of that today.
But I'm going to have to dress up as like Leia, I think, right?
I'm glad I get to be Luke.
Yeah, I'm going to get the earbud. No, Han.
Han Solo. I did that mistake, I think, last time.
Although the first two to kiss were the brother and sister. It's a little weird. It's a little weird, that whole story.
Oh my gosh, Glenn. So tell me what's better. Your first question, camping at Fort Wilderness or sleeping on my couch at Old Key West?
Oh, definitely the couch. My goodness. I didn't even hear your snoring. I was so out. But, the story, of course, is the fighting couple, right?
No, that's why I asked the question, because it wasn't all great moments on the couch either.
Now that couple, I thought I was going to need to step in and call the police or something like that. So yeah,
scary.
Your couch. If you get a couch not in the slums, not in the ghetto of Old Key West, then maybe we would have a better experience. But.
Well, I'll try. I don't have much choice when you get your room at Disney World. What can you do? But Glenn and I have had so many fun moments over the years. And,
oh yeah.
Yeah, we got more to come. I'm excited.
More to come this February, I'm sure. And gosh, I'm so excited that you get to go in October. I want to see what I can do to
well,
squeeze a day in there.
I love how there's some people in this community, and I was noticing this, Glenn, that have a way of convincing their spouses to get away to Disney World. I was thinking of you and Travis, and you guys have. And even some of the ladies telling their husbands how they get them, how to get an extra Disney time.
Well, cats have 9 lives, and I think I've used all of my Disney lives up trying to squeeze in extra trips. So I'm down on thin ice. But we bought DVC, and this is my master stroke. is like now we have to go. We've committed.
Well, we're going to talk about the trip that you took with your latest son, your youngest son. Yeah. But that's what made me think. Someone in our Facebook group, I said that we're going to get together with Glenn, and that the response was maybe Glenn took his 3 boys at 5 years old, as that was like one of his tricks to get down to Disney World. Are you going to admit that, Glenn?
I'll never admit that out loud. I can neither confirm nor deny that statement.
You get lots of tips on this podcast. There is one there. There's always a sneaky way to find a way down to Disney World.
Yeah, this is a beautiful way, though, and I'd love to answer that question later if you like for the Patreons.
Yeah, so hang on, because we're gonna stay with Glenn. Glenn says we got 3 hours to record because we're both kind of taking a little time here, and we're going to give some extra bonus questions from the community to Glenn. But we're going to get into this trip report. Who went on this trip with you?
Well, this is the third and final shed a tear of my 5-year-old trips.
Yeah.
Really, I feel that. They grow up so fast, but that was the whole point behind these trips when we started them now 5 years ago with my eldest, AJ, that netted the tent story. Did it with Harrison when he turned 5. And little Alden, his 5-year-old trip was supposed to be last July. Of course, that didn't work out. We were in the middle of the pandemic. The wife did actually put the foot down. I would have gone, but, said, no, the baby's not going.
Yeah,
we waited the extra year, and he's almost 6 now, but we did redeem it, and it was an excellent experience. Spoiler warning, I'm going to probably get a little emotional as we go through the day today talking about this, but good memories as they have been with all the children.
This is a good spot for this question. The listeners have loved this habit that you've been doing, or this trip that you've been giving us these. Now we're into the third one. So what I know something that's really interesting is the noticeably different trips they were with the 3 boys. So can you kind of catch us up to what it was like with the first 2 and then compare it to Alden?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, AJ is a daredevil. He's brave. He always is the person, someone, says, do I have a volunteer in the audience? And his hand is up before he's asked, well, what am I doing? So he's always into that kind of stuff. He's a lot like I am now.
Like us.
Yeah, right, exactly. So his trip and my trip was just incredible. It was great bonding, just a lot of fun. The second trip was the really interesting one. This was with my Harrison, who is much more quiet and introverted, not into big rides or, volunteering for things. He's a lot like I was when I was his age. I really did quite change as I got older and confidence built. So the Harrison trip, I went in being very uncertain, unclear about how to handle it. I spent the first couple of days almost upset that he didn't want to do the things that I thought Disney World was all about.
Yeah.
As the days went on, though, I started to realize that he was showing me his personality. He was showing me a different way that I could be. And I was able to flex myself and change so that we did take in the parades, the characters, stop and look around. And it was incredible. It really changed
insightful.
Well, it changed not only my understanding of him, but it changed my relationship to Disney World, which was amazing as well.
It's so, when I started this podcast with Lindsay, you live with someone, but everyone's busy going in, you know, with 3 boys, and we're all going in so many different directions. Seems like we're always in a rush. And when I sat down with the mic with Lindsay, and of course she was 21 years old, so it's kind of a different perspective, but also you want to still connect with your kids when they're older. And I had no idea of her. I knew she was smart, but when she started saying things about Disney World, I was just blown away. And so many positive comments came too. I was like, that made my podcast so special for me.
Well, and
bonus that I didn't expect.
Yeah, she was just, podcast gold. I mean, when you guys started, the rapport was beautiful. The friendship that you two have, more than father and daughter, but it really felt like you guys were good friends, maybe best friends. And to hear that, it was inspiring, honestly, to me as at that point, very new father. I only had, a 4-year-old and a newborn on the way, a 2-year-old. So yeah, that was great, and I hope my children have the relationship with me that you have with Lindsay.
I have no doubt, no doubt. And Glenn, so what was different with Alden?
I've been racking my brain for the last couple of weeks trying to think about what's the takeaway, what's the grand takeaway from the Alden trip, because nothing really jumped out at me. We didn't have any changes in personality and revelations, and I think the takeaway for me was that through this process of taking the children on these solo trips, I've gotten better at understanding how to be their dad, how to be listening to their cues and responding. So there weren't any major hiccups like a tent. There weren't any uncomfortable moments where I didn't know what he wanted. And I want to, thank the other 2 children for facilitating that, for being my guinea pigs. And finally on the 3rd one, I think we figured it out, and we had a very, very smooth experience. It was fun. It was exhausting. It was exhilarating. A lot of great memories. And he was really paying attention the whole time. When I was away this last week, he was telling my wife all about his trip in great detail. He remembered everything. He was really dialed in. It was exciting to hear him. He's 5, he's almost 6 now. But to hear him putting together how, everyone, we had little stories that we told about how how all the princesses from the different movies could it possibly be in the same place? And, I let him know that, of course, after the movies are over, this is their home. And he was asking, well, why are their faces different? Cartoon versus reality. I said, well, that's another piece of the magic of when you come here to Disney World. And he recited all those things right back to my wife, telling her the story. It was exciting to see him having processed everything and understood it so well.
All right, we're going to dig into more stories. Let's get into the technical details. We know you didn't stay at a tent. Where did you stay? That was a given.
Never again. Yeah, we stayed at the Bailout Resort from that first trip, which has become the regular resort for these trips, is Pop Century. Yeah. We had an option to stay at Coronado for about the same price, but I really did want to give him the same experiences that his brothers had. So we went right back to Pop, had a lot of the same photo ops, and took advantage of the new Skyliner, of course, since the previous 2 trips was not there.
Yeah, what do you think of the Pop Century? Any stories from Pop Century?
Yeah, he loved Pop Century, and this was the first trip we took in really hot weather. The other ones, I hate going in the summer because, as a fair-skinned redhead, I do not do well with extra sun and extra heat. So we've avoided it, but the timing worked out this time. I didn't want him to be 6.5 by the time we went on his 5-year-old trip. So we pulled the trigger and we ended up using the pool a lot more. Oh. Not just the pool at the Pop Century, but we actually went to all 3 of the pools at Pop Century, the bowling pool, the computer pool, and of course the big one, the hippy dippy pool in the middle. But we even ventured over to Art of Animation and pressed our luck to see if they would let us in there, and they did. So we hit all of the pools.
Nice. Yeah, and that's a great idea.
Well, he loved it. I mean, he's a water baby. They all, really enjoy the water. And that was a wonderful opportunity. We thought that the pool over at Art of Animation had the music under the water, but we did not detect it this time. So I don't know if they've shut that off for COVID or if it's
not working,
or whatever.
Probably more like it's not working.
Yeah, exactly.
You're giving them more credit than. Yeah, I think you're right. It's because of the movies. I remember hearing about that feature too. Yeah. Whereabouts was your room?
Yeah, we did get the room that we requested. We didn't do a touring plans fax, but I did go through on the Disney website. You can actually make a number of requests. Yep. King bed, I think, accessible, 50s section. So I asked for 50s section, which is well positioned. It's not the closest to the Skyliner. Of course, those are preferred rooms, but we were right next to it. And it was a great room. We were on the 3rd floor, which was fine. Even with a stroller, most of the time we were able to get either an elevator or a quick walk up or down. Was not a problem. And the view was lovely. We had a view out to the Skyliner. We could almost see the Skyliner station, but we could see the gondolas going past. It was very pleasant. We got sunsets the direction that we were pointed. It was lovely. Yeah. Can't complain. And of course, inside the room, we all know it's been well documented. Those rooms, I call them contemporary light. They're just gorgeous, clean, efficient. We love the room.
Yeah, I was impressed by the room this past G3. I love the way. Well, you said you had a king bed. Yeah.
No, that's one of the requests you can put in. I did put that as our second, but we did not get the king bed. We had the normal setup with the Murphy and the other one, which was fine. I showed him the Murphy bed, which he was very impressed with. So now I think I have to get one for his room. But we snuggled in the one bed, and that was probably one of my favorite parts of the trip was just having my little guy, because we don't sleep in the same bed at home, of course. So it's a real treat when you get to have like a sleepover kind of party vibe to it, and he's just a real snuggler, and all the kids. So
you had the Murphy bed up with the table.
Yeah. We weren't in the room very much, I'll be honest. And he's more like AJ. He's more like my eldest. He's more like me now. He likes to go hard, open to close. In fact, I asked him regularly, "Are you tired?" And with defiance, he would always say, "No, I'm not tired. How dare you ask me that question?"
We're creating monsters.
That's Disney fanatics.
I love it. Yeah. What do you think of the Skyliner?
Love the Skyliner. It really is for kids especially, and even for geeks and adults like us. It's a ride. It's the first ride for most of us. Well, maybe after the monorail at the airport, but it's the first ride that you get to experience for those who are staying on that loop. And I love it. I think it's so fun. We had a good time identifying the characters that were on the gondolas going by. So, you'd see them coming on the opposite line. They've got about half of them themed to movies and Haunted Mansion and other things. And we would play a game kind of identifying those. The views are amazing. It just feels really special. Love the gondola.
All right. We've waited way too long. It's time for food. Did you have some dining reserved?
Oh yeah.
I'm starting to wonder, is this trip for Glenn and Dad, or is it for Alden now? Right?
Yeah. Well,
this is where the line's blurred.
Yeah, exactly. So, and he's a pretty good eater. I mean, he does love his chicken nuggets and French fries, but he'll go a little off script sometimes and eat some funky things. I decided to use not only my annual pass, but I had a Tables in Wonderland that was purchased for our infamous Rodell Festival of the Arts trip that never got used. And because of the 4-month closure, it ended up still being functional this past trip. I mean, it ended end of June, so just a couple of days ago from when we're recording. I'll give it a whirl, see if they'll honor it in a couple of weeks when the family, the big extended family, goes to World in July. But I wanted to book a lot of table service to take advantage not only of the discounts that we had there, but also with the heat, I expected we would want to get out of the heat for lunches and even a few dinners for, an hour, 2 hours, whatever it is. So yeah, this was all part of the plan. So yeah, I'll just run through it real quick. We had Chef Mickey's, Tony's Town Square. We did Beaches and Cream, San Angel Inn, Cape May, and Yak and Yeti. It was a very big, it's a 5-day trip. So that was a lot of sit-down meals that we ended up making good on. And then had some good snacks and quick service as well. So happy to
Let's dig in. What do you think was your favorite?
I can't pick a favorite. That's a cruel question to ask.
Oh, right good.
There. Probably everything. I mean, Yak and Yeti, a favorite among the geeks. I had to get the kind of prototypical. I think everyone would agree. This is what you get the first time you go to Yak and Yeti. Start with the pot stickers. They are amazing. Then get the ahi tuna nachos.
Yeah.
This is amazing. Have you had them, Kurt?
No. I have not done a lot of fish when I'm at Disney World. I think I lean into steak quite a bit. Yeah. Yeah,
steak is always good at Disney, but I would give this a try. I mean, knowing your love of nachos, the pork nachos over at Captain Cook's, I think this one is a really good one. It's not terribly fishy tasting. It's not I don't know. It's very unique and yet still comfortable. I think you would probably enjoy it. But of course, I mean, everybody knows what it is. It's got those wonton crisps instead of tortilla chips, and the sauces on it are amazing. A little heat from the wasabi glaze. It was just outstanding. I can't say enough. And huge. I finished it off. I mean, Clean Plate Club, but it was a lot of food. I was feeling pretty good by the end of that meal. Didn't stop me from getting the fried wontons dessert though. And
that is famous, right?
That's a treat.
Were any of these first for you for these dinners we're going to?
I had not been to Yak and Yeti before.
Oh my gosh.
In fact, I'm going to tell you, every single one of those restaurants that I just named, I had not been to. All 6 of those restaurants.
This is cool. I think most of us that know Glenn, he is adventurous. Is the right word adventurous when you're eating?
Definitely,
yeah. You like to experiment, and you've got some eclectic tastes, right?
Yeah, well, I just ate some cicadas before I left. We found a couple of restaurants that were serving cicadas.
That's just crazy talk.
No, they were really tasty, actually. So yeah, I'm always up for new experiences as long as I have an assurance that it won't kill me. I'm going to try it.
I would recommend. I'm sure you heard so many times Yak and Yeti, and I knew that was right up your alley.
Totally.
What'd you think of it inside too? The decorations and stuff.
Beautiful. Yeah, it feels like an extension of the kind of Everest queue. It's got a lot of that kind of same vibe. Or Tiffin's has got that same kind of exploration. Yeah, fun. It's a beautiful restaurant. We got the second floor. We actually got a window seat to be able to look down on that sculpture of the Buddha that they say don't climb on. And of course, all we watched was children climbing on it again and again and again.
That is it's kind of hidden. So I love talking about that when people that listen to a podcast find out about that one. We get nothing but great reports.
Well, that was the astounding part to me. I've walked past it for years, and it's just this one little unassuming door. And then the rest of the restaurant feels like it's hidden behind trees and bushes. I never really knew it was as vast as it was inside.
Yeah.
I still have no idea. There is a quick service. I still have no idea how that all works, where that thing is. But
another thing to explore on your next trip.
Yeah, absolutely. And I have to mention, I got 2 drinks, 2 alcoholic beverages, which were outstanding. I made a snap decision and got the snap decision cocktail, which was a bourbon-based drink. It was kind of like an old-fashioned. It was great. And then apple sake for dessert with my fried wontons. And that was a masterful pairing.
I was going to say. That was a pairing I would enjoy.
Yeah, it was served cold. I usually like warm sake, and they did have one option that they serve warm. They do not serve the apple warm, but it was so good cold. And again, the fruit flavors with the fried wontons. If you don't know, the fried wontons do have fruit with them.
I think we're a little late in giving our warning to those who haven't eaten before this podcast. I apologize for that, but here's the warning. I didn't have any breakfast, and I should listen to my own advice, but here we go.
Also, not before you go to the grocery store.
Exactly. I have both of those things still to do today. I never listen. I never learn. But Glenn, this is awesome. Let's keep going. What's the next restaurant we want to talk about? You've taken notes, I'm noticing. He's digging into something there.
I got my notes. You know me.
10,
I always have
12 pages
of notes. 5 pages of notes, as I always do, Kurt, when we come together. Professional here.
I should have known.
Why don't we, I'll go back in time because Yak and Yeti was my last meal of the trip.
We're going backwards.
The day before was Cape May. We did dinner.
This really interests me because I've always loved I love buffets. This is one of my favorites because of the crab legs that I finally learned how to eat properly.
Yeah, well, I got good news and bad news. Obviously Cape May is back open and is serving, but at least for the time being, it's not all you can eat. And those crab legs cost you $29 per pound extra on top of whatever you're paying for the buffet, the family style meal that they serve you. So
wow,
we did go with it because that's what my little Alden loves as well. And I'm into them too. So we threw that on top, but it was an expensive meal as a result.
Oh, you did have the crab legs.
We did put the crab legs on top. Yeah, I don't even want to say this in case my wife listens, but I'm pretty sure the adult portion was like $40, $47 or something like that, $29 more for the crab legs. And then, of course, we got, I got a drink and the little guy got a soda. I can't remember what his was, probably in the 30s range, but that was $120, $150 meal for 2 people, for an adult and a child. It adds up.
So what were they serving? It wasn't family style or all you can eat even, right? Or no?
It was family style. Yeah.
Okay.
So what they do, and they do the same at Chef Mickey's and a number of other places now where you basically sit down and they just throw so much food at you, skillets or plates. And I'm looking in my notes here to get a picture of it. My goodness, the boil that they had was just massive. It had shrimp, it had fish, it had clams, mussels, there was corn, potatoes, all of that. That's just the seafood bake. So that's one part. And then you get a whole skillet full of chicken and prime rib for Judy and mashed potatoes and sauteed vegetables. Then there was a lobster mac and cheese, whole set of that. We got the crab legs on top of it, and there was salads before you started. It was an insane amount of food, and every single item was delicious. I'm not big into the prime rib, so I won't vouch for that, but the chicken was great, the veggies were great, the mashed potatoes, and of course the lobster mac and cheese, all the seafood. It was an outstanding meal. And then you do get dessert with it as well. They bring you a bunch of little tiny desserts that you can nibble on, everything from little cookie sandwiches and macarons and to like custards in single serving containers. And we had to eat all of them. We enjoyed everything.
That's fun. Yeah, the buffet used to do the same thing. That sounds really good. Yeah, I'm not depressed with the buffets not being there because the food has been outstanding. Everything I've heard from people.
And they'll bring you more if you finish anything and you say, you know what, bring me more fish or bring me more desserts or any of this stuff other than the crab legs they'll charge you for. But you can add that on. You can also add on, I believe, the lobster tail for $29 as well. But not our cup of tea, at least right now.
They didn't have the lobster mac and cheese that I can recall on the buffet. Uncle Ken, that's one of his favorite restaurants.
I see why. And I did not detect the smell that everyone talks about, the seafood smell. It smelled pretty normal for me. Everyone jokes that, don't walk past there because you're just going to, smell like fish after. I did not detect the smell. Maybe that's cleaning COVID related or something like that. They just opened up only I think about a week before we ate there.
When you drive in, here's one for Rob Maderi. He can vouch for me. When you drive into the real Cape May in New Jersey, snows like clam packing plant, for seafood. Trust me, it smells like seafood when you drive into the real, and it's as it should, going into the real Cape May.
Yeah, that's true. When you have those,
you know what, Glenn?
actual fishing villages. And
yes,
stuff like
it just flashed my mind. I would love for you guys, my buddies, Glenn and his brother and Rob and all these guys, to go to this place. It's called the Lobster House in Cape May, and the boats are coming in off the ocean. It's a real, sit on the dock. You could have boils like you're talking about, or fried seafood. They have a retail store for fish and they have a sit-down restaurant. But I just love sitting on that deck. Pictures of beer and seafood, just like in Maryland, dude.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
All right.
Okay, I wrote it down. The
Lobster House. Shout out to Rob Maderi.
If we all go, because we're not far, if we all go, maybe you'll come down too.
I bet you. Can you take the ferry? I wonder if you can take the ferry.
Yeah,
you know that?
We go to Lewis. We go to Rehoboth, Delaware. That's one of our primary beaches that we vacation at. In fact, I think we've got a trip already scheduled for August there. And the next town north is Lewis, Delaware, and that's the other end of the Cape May ferry.
Oh, see,
so we could easily take that ferry up there.
All right, so let's go to your next restaurant. I could talk about seafood all day long.
I went to San Angel Inn, or San Angel Inn. This is, of course, the restaurant inside of the Mexican Pavilion, the dark one. And
I'm surprised you went there, because we've had some bad reports there.
Yeah, and I was willing
one of them.
I was willing to take the chance. I think your bad report was based primarily on the seating being so damn close, and this was my hope after COVID that they would have social distancing spacing and not be so close. It did look a little more spaced out than I've seen in the past, but it was still pretty crammed
tight
in there.
Yeah.
We had a great experience though, Kurt.
Okay.
The food was average to above average. I'll concede that. But that restaurant for me was not so much about the food. It was about the atmosphere, the environment. And that ride, the Three Caballeros ride, is legend in the Kessler household. So we had to.
Yeah, isn't that somebody's favorite ride?
Yeah, Harrison's favorite ride.
Yeah.
You remember we almost missed our plane because we had to go on it one more time.
That's right. No, you're right. The atmosphere is outstanding. It's been really, like you said, even the pavilion has been really crowded. Judy and I both agreed we had the worst steak we ever had. It was tough.
Oh,
so that's it was like elbow to elbow though the time we were there. So
yeah, it wasn't quite that close. And with just the two of us, we got a table for 4 and we had plenty of room to stretch out. In fact, so a couple of fun stories. We rolled up in there and we did have a reservation, but we rolled in there and said, we'd like to sit right on the edge by the boats so that we can see them going by and wave at them. Right. That would be important to us. Can we wait? And they said, it'll be an hour for you to wait. I said, all right, that's okay. We'll occupy ourselves in the pavilion until then. Maybe we'll go on the boat ride, which we did. And then, we'll come back when the time, is right. In the meantime, I went over after the boat ride. We went over to La Cava and picked up that incredible drink. Oh my goodness. If you guys did not see the video, they call it the, Alebrije, Alebrija, the Alebrije margarita. This is one where they use that smoke bubble machine, and fill it up inside of a terrarium with smoke, and then they put this bubble of smoke on top. It is the most magical drink, probably, or food that you can get on property.
Is that like the $30 margarita?
Yeah. You're going to notice a trend on this.
This is the part of the podcast where I give Glenn a hard time for not having the frozen lime margarita because he's so adventurous. I cannot steer him back to the regular one. He's got to go out there and try every margarita at the Mexican Pavilion.
Yeah, life is too short, man. Been there, done that.
This one I'm going to give you a pass. I think that would attract any geek.
It was so cool. They put a glow cube in it as well. So while the smoke and the bubble and everything is happening, you got this light show inside of it. Was outstanding.
Dude, they should give you the drink glass, though.
They do.
All right.
They do. In fact, so I bought it at La Cava. I bought it at La Cava, and they give you the glass. It's just a little plastic glass, and it was unmarked. If you buy the same drink, they sell it at the restaurant at San Angel Inn. Then it has San Angel Inn on the glass, like a keepsake. So I did not keep the regular plastic one from La Cava, but if I got the one from San Angel Inn, I would probably keep that one as a nice little keepsake. But yeah, it was delicious too. I mean, it was just a great, nice and smoky flavor. Just outstanding. And while we were ordering it, we did see the tequila. I don't know if it's called Tequila University or what, but that was happening in the back of the La Cava. I mean, La Cava is not seating, not letting people sit in there any longer because of COVID, and hopefully that goes away. But they were using the back half where the seats usually are for the tequila tutorial.
Tutorial or training. I don't know. Yeah. Oh, they were doing. Oh, that's an official thing.
Yeah. You can book it ahead of time. There was a placard. I can put that in the notes. I'll put a photo of the image I took of two ladies enjoying it, and it's got the information of how you can sign up. But you just send an email ahead of time, something at lacavadeltequila.com, and schedule it. Make sure that you show up, and it's not an inexpensive operation, but certainly an enjoyable one, I would think.
I think Mama inspired that, because every time we went in there, she would say to the bartenders, "Can you teach me how to drink tequila?" And they would go through this whole routine. But I was really interesting, because they would talk about how tequila is aged and all the different, giving us all the different aspects of the tequila, which was an education, and I can appreciate that.
I love that knowledge when it's sitting out there. So anyway, we got our drink, and they ended up calling us to come and sit in the restaurant at this point for our reservation. And it was, they apologized. They said, the closest we can get you is the second row. And I said, that's fine. We can almost see. Yeah. So they sat us down at the second row. 5 minutes later, before we had ordered anything and drinks had not even come yet, they said, someone left early at the front row. Would you mind if we moved you? Of course.
Sweet.
So we did end up getting to sit in the front row. And that was just really wonderful that they remembered, after the hostess had sat us down, came back and said, we know you wanted this. Your son is very short, so he's not going to be able to see from the second row of tables. So here you go at the front row. And we made the most of it. We waved at almost every boat that went by. Yeah. It was just a real fun treat.
Geeks like Glenn and I and the rest that listen to this podcast can really appreciate that little tidbit you just put in there. Because, when you go somewhere and, they could have made that change if they could have remembered what you said, and they just don't. Right? Disney World has got that difference in it. That little thing gets me all the time. I know
it doesn't take much, right? It doesn't take much to change your whole attitude.
I agree. It is. It's an attitude, and so many of those cast members have it. I love it. I just gotta get this straight, because I'm such a sucker for the glass and the glow cube thing. You said I could get the real glass one at the restaurant?
I don't know if it's real glass. It probably is still plastic, but at least it will have some type on it, which would make it a collector's item, I would think.
The logo gets me too.
So I don't know why they don't have La Cava logo on it. That's actually the more desirable of the two names, I would think, to have on it.
I'm such a sucker for that. How much? $30? Yeah, I'm in.
You get a cheap piece of plastic with the name on. Done. I'll take it.
Exactly. All right. So where are we going next?
Well, yeah, and I'll skip the food at San Angel. I got some shrimp.
Okay. Whatever. We need to talk about the food.
Hey, it was forgettable. It really wasn't. I'll talk about the food at Cape May, but the food at San Angel was okay. It was nothing to talk about. Why don't we go to Beaches and Cream, though? We'll just walk out of that international gateway and go eat at Beaches and Cream.
Yeah.
I'd not eaten there before either, so this was the first time for me. And of course, I had to get, I think Wendy Fox was talking about it and a number of others, the grilled cheese and tomato soup.
Oh, they talked you into that one, huh?
They did. And I feel like, maybe you can't hype this up too much because it really is just grilled cheese and tomato soup. It was really good grilled cheese and really good tomato soup. I'm not going to lie. The tomato soup, I think, has cheese in it or some incredibly thick milk because it is so savory. It is so just full and robust. That's absolutely. I would get that if they sold that anywhere. That was great tomato soup.
Yeah, if you said it was bad, it's not on me because I'm not the one that's everyone else, right, Glenn? Let's get that straight.
Yeah, you're in the clear on this one.
I'm totally into the au jus and the steak sandwich there.
Yeah, so Wendy did not disappoint with that tomato soup. And the grilled cheese, I heard it has 4 grilled cheeses, and I think someone had posted the secret ingredient. Maybe it was Elise. Someone had posted in the group that the secret cheese was like a Boursin cheese, which is going to be a wetter, almost like a cream cheese type consistency inside. And I'll vouch for this because little Alden, when he was pulling his bites out, I mean, that cheese stretched as long as his arm would from,
that's mozzarella, isn't it?
The sandwich. I'm sure there's stuff like that in there. The mozzarella does the string and then the wetness of the Boursin. And I'm sure there's a cheddar or something in there. It was great. It was outstanding.
Well, since you had such a light lunch, you must have had an ice cream.
Oh, yes. Well, we're not into peanut butter, so I could not go with your No Way Jose. Sorry. But we
kitchen sink?
No, well, that would be a little too much. We were hoping that someone would order the kitchen sink while we were sitting there. That did not happen.
Yeah, the show is fun too, right?
Take your luck. Yeah, and we know how that show goes. I've seen it on the internet, but I would love to see that in person. But no, we went with a banana split. We got
that's Mama's.
Oh, the Mama gets that? I didn't know.
That's her favorite. She loves the 3 kinds of ice cream. She likes the bananas and the chocolate sauce. Yeah, banana split is Mom's. Was it big?
It's pretty big. Yeah, here, I'll flash a picture of it. It was massive. I'll get a picture with the boy in it to show you.
You just got one.
One to split.
Oh, he's so cute.
It's 3 scoops, chocolate, vanilla, and strawberry. The bananas, everything you mentioned. I think there's some nuts on there too. It was great, and we polished that thing off for real. There was nothing left on that bowl either.
All right,
what a treat. We never get that kind of stuff back at home.
Oh, okay. And I put that one really high on my list. I love peaches and cream. Did we oversell it?
No, it was a fun experience. We had a great server, very charming. And I'll tell you one more thing. So I've got this trip in a couple of weeks where the entire family is coming. My eldest son has a severe allergy to nuts, peanuts, tree nuts, the whole 9. Mm-hmm. And that really puts a damper sometimes on our ability to enjoy sweets. Savory items are usually cooked on site out of raw ingredients, and they can pull out the raw ingredients that may have come into contact with nuts. But sweets end up being a real difficulty for us. Even the ice cream that is served on property, it's Edie's, and Edie's has a difficult track record. Right. They have had some issues with cross-contamination, so we cannot eat ice cream at Disney when AJ is with us, and we're not going to do it for the whole family and then exclude him. Yep. So I mentioned this. I said, hey, I'm coming back in a month, and what are our options here? We'd love to try a kitchen sink. Can you do one that does not use Edie's? And I'd say the waitress got the manager. The manager came out and spoke to us, brought out everything out of the back kitchen that he could think of that might be acceptable. Let me read the back of the nutrition and allergy warnings and Google, and even sent us home. I'm not joking. Sent us home with a pint of tofu ice cream that we could try. We ended up going to the theme park afterwards, so we just ate a little bit outside of the restaurant and threw it away. We couldn't take it back with us, but tasted good, believe it or not. But even that one had some shared line issues we found out later. So I think, unfortunately, ice cream is not going to be available. Peaches and cream is not going to be available to us on our next trip. But what great service to have the manager spend so much time with us. I mean, he had to have spent 20 minutes with us and given us cookies to try, given us a plate of the cookies so we could understand how those would taste, and then the ice cream to take to go. It was just an outstanding, again, that Disney difference, just really caring about your experience.
Outstanding.
Yeah.
All right. I'm glad you liked it. We're doing good.
Yeah, sure are. All right, just got 2 more sit downs. I want to hit Chef Mickey's. This was also run family style instead of the buffet. They, just like at Cape May, give you a huge outlay of food. You can choose to eat it or you can not. Anything you want extra, they'll bring it to you. And I'm trying to find my pictures of it to remember everything that was there. It was massive, the quantity of food. Start you off with 3 different salads and some lovely bread. So there was kind of a normal chef salad, a salad that had shrimp and some slaw on it, and then a really nice kale salad with garbanzo beans, nice flavors in there, some raisins and pickled onions. That was a great salad. So that gets you started, and then the hits just keep on coming as they bring salmon, they bring steak, they bring let me see what this is, prime rib, turkey, succotash, asparagus, carrots, gnocchi. That was really good. The gnocchi was outstanding. There was some kind of a veggie, I don't know if this was lentils or quinoa or what, but it was kind of a salad. That was not a home run for me. And then a gratin dish, kind of a potato gratin dish.
I like those. Yeah.
Oh, God, it was so much food. Then dessert, they'll finish you off with the same stuff like I mentioned at Cape May's, all those little individual items. And the standout here was this apple cobbler, just a single bite, but it was basically apple cobbler. Yeah. And you could just throw that down. I could have dusted off a dozen of those. They were so good, but we were quite full by that point.
Did you have characters?
Yeah, they bring the characters around. The rules now are you're not really encouraged to leave your seat. I mean, children do. They have a tough time holding themselves, but you don't leave your table station at least. You can't touch the characters, but from a distance, maybe 5-10 feet, depending on the character. You can take some pictures with them and pantomime interact with them. We had some great interactions. Not least of which was Alden coming up with a brilliant move. So he sees me taking photos from a distance and he says, well, here, I'm going to reach my hand out palm side up. And can Mickey reach his hand out palm side down and Dad line it up so that it looks like we're holding hands from a distance? That was great. I love that idea.
He's got your creativity, Glenn.
The kid has got something. That was wonderful. I was shocked they had come up with that idea. So we did get some nice pictures like that. And we did that with Donald and Mickey and we did not think of it for Pluto, but he was, pretending to be a dog down on the ground, like Pluto. That was cute. So we had a great time interacting with them. They came around twice during our 45 minutes-ish stay, and it was just a great experience. They do dancing and singing. We've not been there before. I understand there's something where you whip your napkins around your head. They did not do anything like that.
They would just go through, they had like a little parade, and they would get everyone to do their napkins, the white napkins. They'd be flying like in a circle too, they would rip them around. That sounds fun. Yeah. Not present at this moment. Hopefully coming back. All right. One more,
and that was Tony's Town Square. And I'm actually glad I saved this one for last. Not that it was the best in terms of the food. Again, the food was good, verging on great. The appetizer we got was the mozzarella. They call it, I think, mozzarella sticks, but it was mozzarella balls, and they were delicious. They were flavored perfectly, a little dusting of oil and parsley around the top, or maybe basil on top. Those were outstanding. We got a pizza for our meal. We got half cheese for him, half sausage for me. It was good. Nothing to write home about. Certainly not high quality New York pizza, but very tasty. Good. And the kind of pizza that you have to eat with a knife and fork, the kind of wet one. And we've been to nice places like that. So that was not a weird thing. The best part about our experience there, though, was a tip I'd heard from a couple of other listeners, I believe, and even maybe podcasts, but to sit outside. Now, it was hot, but you're still getting fans and a little bit of the AC from the indoors, but they have a veranda out front that opens up to Main Street, that circle right around where the flag and everything is in the train station. And this is amazing. While they're doing cavalcades, the cavalcades come every 15 minutes down Main Street. So for the time that we were sitting there, I want to say we saw 4 cavalcades come through. We saw every character, I think, that they run through from the Fab
Free entertainment.
5. It really was. And they would look over. I mean, they take the long route, over to that Tony's side and then circle out by the fire station. But we got up close concert from every one of the characters. It was great for us to identify our favorites. My favorite Peter Pan came by, and Stitch was there, and the princesses and all. And we even got the Dapper Dans performing over at the second story of the train station.
Wow.
They did a concert while we were sitting there. I mean, what an experience.
That's an iconic spot.
It ended up turning into, I feel like, kind of the best character meal of the trip.
In the best location you possibly could be.
Really, 30 characters, a concert from the Dapper Dans, the energy of just watching people walk into Magic Kingdom for the first time. It was awesome.
It wasn't $130 for 2, was it?
That one was a little less. Yeah, that one was definitely
pizza.
Under 50. Yeah, for pizza and mozzarella. It was a great experience, though. So I would recommend it. I would recommend it even enduring the heat. We were there in June, enduring the heat and enjoying the experience, the atmosphere outside, especially as long as they're doing those cavalcades.
We always get the great tips from my man, Glen Kessler. That's an awesome. Did you have a cocktail there too in Magic Kingdom?
I don't.
Did they have beer and wine? Maybe
they did have wine. Yeah, I did get. I got a prosecco there, just a little.
I like
little
that.
Sparkling.
I like the sweeter wines too. That's.
It was actually pretty dry, but it's got those bubbles, which cools you off. I feel a little bit, and kind of reminds you. But it was good.
Honey Judy gave us a great report from that restaurant too. I think Mom could get. I know she's never. I know I never eaten there, so I'm sure she's never been there either. So
put it on and let them know. So if you want to sit outside, don't leave it up to chance. Let them know when you arrive that you'd want to sit outside. And I'll give you one more tip. As long as they're doing the advanced check-in, if you have an ADR, you're going to get a notification on your phone through My Disney Experience about 5, 10, 15 minutes before your reservation that it's time to check in. If you do check in, you can put in, if you have allergies or anything like that, but you can't make requests for where you'd like to sit. So I would recommend maybe not doing that initial check-in if you have a specific seating request. Simply walk up to the host stand and say, we're here and we'd like either to sit front row at the Mexican boat ride or outside at Tony's or whatever kind of request you have like that. They'll put you in the queue, let you know that it might be a few minutes. It was maybe 10 minutes for us to wait for Tony's. We just went and did a little shopping, browsing in the place right next to Tony's where they've got some hats and things like that. And 10 minutes later, it was ready to go.
Awesome. All right. Next question. I'm not even going to leave food yet. I want to know if you had any outstanding quick service places. You have any places you can recommend now?
I'm glad you asked. We did not do a lot of quick service because we had filled up on a lot of those table services, but I wanted to speak about Rosie's All American at Hollywood Studios. This is one of those places dotted along Sunset Boulevard.
Oh, yes.
So Rosie's, and I feel like all of those places kind of change their cuisine regularly. So this may not be there the next time you go, but they had something called a vegetarian lobster roll that I thought sounded interesting.
that would catch my eye.
Which is funny. I feel like most vegetarians do eat fish anyway, but anyway, this had no lobster in it whatsoever. It was made with hearts of palm. Have you ever had hearts of palm, Kurt?
I'm sure. I love artichoke. It's kind of like an artichoke, right?
Yeah, very similar. Mild texture, a little less zingy, I think, than that if they do it right.
All right. I don't know. I'm going to be kind of critical if they call lobster roll from that ingredient.
I honestly think you would like it. The sauce is the key here.
Okay.
Yeah. Hearts of palm really doesn't have much flavor in and of itself. It's kind of a clean, maybe a little bit bitter flavor, but it was the sauce that really stood out here, and they serve it on a gigantic hoagie roll, just like you might get at Columbia Harbor House for them with the lobster roll. And it was a lot of food. It was very messy, I'll tell you that. Bring a lot of napkins and maybe a feed bag that you can drop your extra food in and get it later. But it was really tangy and really good.
So
I would recommend this.
Wouldn't you say that Hollywood Studios has really upped their game in all levels of the food?
I would. I think Hollywood Studios is now one of my favorite places to eat.
Oh wow, that's a brave statement. We used to give it such a hard time before, but that's very inventive, I'll say.
Yeah,
very
it was
good.
good. I never had anything like that, and I don't know what possessed me. It was probably the heat. Something refreshing like Hearts of Palm sounded good.
I guess if the day before I did Ohana's, like the old Ohana's, with all of that meat, and late at night, and then I was at Hollywood Studios the next day, I might take a chance at a fake lobster roll.
Yeah, I think this was after our Chef Mickey's day. We had Tony's for lunch and then Chef Mickey's for dinner, and I was like, no, I can't do anything heavy anymore. So
nice. All right.
Last food item I would recommend would be, and I was just listening to Elise talk about this on this week's podcast, is I am now, Kurt, Team Kakamora.
Wow, I'm hearing this. I am hearing this. Tell everybody if they don't know.
Well, if you don't know, this is a coconut soft serve. So this is going to be sold over at the same place that you're going to get the Dole Whip, Aloha Isle, and Magic Kingdom, Adventureland, and it is the coconut soft serve in a bed of, I think it's Sprite, but it's got some really zingy lime flavor. I think I heard Elise say curacao inside of it. So you're getting the lime and the coconut. Drink them both up, and it is so tasty. It is so good. That pairing is magical. And I will claim credit for this one, Kurt, because we had an Armchair Imagineering episode maybe a year and a half ago, and you had asked, what addition would you put on to a theme park? And I said, I'm building a Moana edition over in Adventureland. I would like a Moana roller coaster. And then I said, my snack place is going to have lime and coconut float themed to Moana. And that is exactly what they did. They have a little they call it the Kakamora float, which is of course named after those little guys in Moana. And there is a weird cake pop of just deep dark chocolate on top, which makes no sense flavor wise with the drink. But anyway, that's how they tie in Moana to it. So thank you, Disney, for listening to Geekin' on WDW. And royalty checks can be sent to Kurt, and he'll send it on to me. We can work that out.
I'm sure, Glenn, we're going to have more, too. Keep listening, Disney. We'll come up with more creative things. I'm intrigued by this for sure. And we'll have to have that Dole Whip team and the Citrus Swirl team. And now, what's this thing called?
Team Kakamora float. Tom Ellison, Elise, and I will absolutely battle with all of you. I swear
that is the team. Yes, one. I'm getting confused with the kakagori, which I really love in the Japanese pavilion at Epcot. That's the shaved ice, which is
shaved ice
outstanding.
With the milk cream.
I've never done the milk cream. I had to go look it up because I was getting confused. But yeah, I love that one's got such a great deep. I always like my shaved ice, especially when the juice doesn't run out when you're eating it.
Yeah, that seems like a weird flavor combo, but it's really good. You've got to try that one.
I love sweet milk. So, I haven't been that. See, you're so much more adventurous than me.
You got to try stuff. Yeah, we did the Frushi we didn't do many of the booths because we had eaten La Cava and Sun and Gel and everything. And that was the same day we had Cape May. But we did get the avocado toast at the last festival, which was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really.
Any other good drinks that outstanding, Glenn?
Well, that was about it. I didn't want to, drink like I would at a G3 while I'm trying to parade my little guy around.
Gotcha.
I did get the spicy, what is it called? The spicy pineapple margarita over at La Choza de Margarita. That's the stand outside to the left of the pavilion.
Yep, right.
I do like that one.
All right.
Yep.
All right. I want to hear the stories with you and Alden. What were some of the good story moments that you take away from this trip?
I've got to start off with one story. It's not quite an Alden story, but this is how I have to start the trip. I had the worst start to a trip. And really, this was one of the worst all-time, most stressful days of my life, I think.
Wow.
So we, as always, start off with our 6 a.m. flight. We love to do this so that we're at the theme parks by 9 a.m. I love that idea, waking up in Maryland and being at the theme park for close to rope drop. Sometimes we have been able to rope drop.
That's a geek thing.
It is a geek thing. It means waking up usually in the 3 o'clock hour and being out of the house no later than 4.
Same here.
And that was going to be our plan this time. Well, my body got me up because I'm excited about going to Disney. I got up at 2 and I couldn't go back to sleep. So I was up at 2, kind of moping around half asleep. And I looked at my phone and saw that, I was pretty close to filling up the hard drive with, photos. I said, let me clear up some space. So I plugged my phone into my computer and decided I wanted to offload some of my photos. And in my bleary-eyed, bad decision-making 2 a.m. mode, ended up starting an update for the phone. I said, sure, I'll update it. How long can it take? Well, an hour and a half later into the update, it's still connected and I'm not going to be able to leave on time. So I unplugged it, which bricked.
It's not recommended, right?
No, it completely bricked the phone. The phone was unusable. Now I'm staring at 15 minutes until we have to leave. And
there is a tip here.
It's useless.
There is definitely a tip here. This is a technology tip. Oh my gosh.
Don't take chances.
Do not reboot. I know that even when I start the podcast. Don't reboot your computer.
I had 2 hours to play with. I thought for sure I'd be fine, but this update was just not moving. And
so
the phone was ostensibly useless. I was able to reset it to factory settings. So at least I had a phone, but it had no apps on it. I had none of my passwords, nothing. So, I mean, think about this. You're heading down to Disney.
You have to have the phone.
Everything
is
on your phone.
Yeah.
Everything is on your phone. My Disney experience, my plane ticket, my email wasn't even synced up. So I couldn't even find my confirmation number. None of this stuff. Uber,
you must have been freaking out.
I was freaking out. I was so freaking out. It was the worst. And I was just kicking myself. Like, why did I do this? Why did I do this? How do I go back in time? Where's the undo button on life?
Right. No reset.
So, I woke him up with my phone in factory reset, got him in the car so we didn't miss the flight. And while I'm driving down the highway, doing the best I can at, when it's safe. And again, still tired because I've woken up at 2 and it's 4 a.m. Doing my best not to crash or do anything silly. I'm trying to load things on using the data, not Wi-Fi, and just cobbling it together. I knew what I needed to get through through security.
From the guy who gave us the infamous how to get your boarding pass at Rise of the Resistance. Now he doesn't have the apps to do it. And he's on his way to Disney World.
Well, all ended up well. I was able to download my Disney experience, remember some of my passwords, and we did have a relatively flawless, kind of technological experience there. But man, that was the most nerve-wracking. I mean, any hair that I hadn't lost just fell out in that morning.
On the positive end, you had plenty of space for pictures.
Exactly.
Video. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Well, I was very happy that at least the backup portion of the phone update had kicked in. So when I did get back from the trip, and it did take until we got back from the trip, I was able to, download everything that I had done on the trip and then upload the old stuff. And I'm good as new right now. But man, that was a scary moment.
Yeah, I definitely have this list of things that I want to do ahead of time. And there's a great tip there. Do them. Make your mistakes a week before your trip.
Yeah, well in advance. Don't do things at 2 a.m. when you've had no sleep and you're excited about a Disney trip.
Yes. Wow. All right. Did it get any better? Give me some fun stories.
Yeah, we had some great stories. The little guy is just marvelous. I mean, I think my favorite story of him was the reaching the hands out at Chef Mickey's. That was just brilliant on his part. But he was so brave. He wanted to go on all the big rides and roller coasters. I asked him, I said, this one's really intense. You want to go on this? Yeah. He went on Tower of Terror. I told him his big brother didn't want to do it, when he went.
Yeah.
He said, no, let me go. Well, I've got a picture. It is adorable. He is just holding on for dear life with both of his hands onto my arm. It's like, when will this end? And I asked him at the end of each of these big events. So we did Big Thunder, we did Space Mountain, we did Slinky Dog, all the big coasters, and of course Tower of Terror. I said, did you like it? And he says, no. And then 5 minutes later, I want to go on that again. But you said, no, you didn't like it. I changed my mind. I really like it now. I want to go on it again. And we did. We went on a couple of them, a second time. It's, I think that fear in the mind is worse than the actual event. And then when you've done it and you realize that you didn't fly out of the vehicle, you didn't, lose your lunch, you didn't, nothing terrible happened to you, that you survived, that you can do it again. I remember our first ride of the first day was Haunted Mansion. He said he wanted to go on Haunted Mansion. He knows all the stuff in our house has Haunted Mansion. He's seen the pictures, and he wanted that to be his first ride. And halfway through, I mean, it's scary the first halfway through, I looked over at him. I said, are you okay? And he's like, I don't like this. I don't like this. I don't like this. And we got to the graveyard. And by that point, I'm looking over and he's singing the song and he's moving around. I was like, what happened? He said, it's not scary. I thought it was scary, but it's not scary anymore.
Yeah, I am having flashbacks of my son Benjamin when we went for the very first time. My wife is horrible with Halloween. She loves scaring. She's a bad mom. She loves scaring him to death going into Haunted Mansion. But it's I'm feeling that same experience because I remember Ben coming off it and just saying that wasn't so bad. But this trip for you guys with the 5-6 years old is, man, the memories that you have of them going on these attractions for the very first time are just priceless.
Yeah, this was we kept calling it his first trip because it really, in all intents and purposes, was. I
understand.
But it was technically his second trip because he went when he was 3 months old. This is the story from when we
learned about him.
Non-refundable trip. Yeah, we found out about him a week after,
booking the trip.
Non-refundable book for Bay Lake Tower. Yeah.
That's so great that he went on all these attractions. What did you think of Slinky Dog?
Oh, he loves Slinky Dog. He loves Slinky Dog. That first lift hill when you're actually going pretty fast out of the gate and then you get to the highest point of the ride and it banks left and you come down that big slope. He was already in his glory. And then it stops in the middle. A spoiler warning for anyone who hasn't ridden Slinky Dog at this point, but it stops in the middle and he said, "Was that it?" And I said, why do you want more? He's like, "Yeah, I want more." I said, "Well, good news. 3, 2, 1, go." And then we did the second half and he was just smiling the whole time. My little thrill seeker. I did not know that about him, that he was such a big thrill seeker. And the other funny part, of course, is, I'm asking him when, is he tired during the day? And no, he's never tired. So, I mean, he was just the bravest, boldest. I mean, he worked himself into a frenzy, I think, that he wasn't going to be tired and wasn't going to be scared. And it ended up working out well for him and us. Our experience was so great.
How were the crowds and lines, Glenn? Going?
Pretty robust, I would say. It was not like November. I went in November with my parents for that wonderful father-son trip in the reverse, or father and mother-son trip in the reverse. That was probably the best pure theme park ride experience that I'll ever have in my life. I mean, unless we get another 9/11 or pandemic type of thing that depresses the crowds, Disney's not going to go back to being a ghost town like that ever again. So this point in June, they're back at full capacity. It feels like the ride times are long. We rope dropped Slinky Dog Actually, no, that's not true. We rope dropped Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, got on that and off of that before park opening, and then ran over to Slinky Dog. At that point, it was saying 90-minute wait. I could not believe that it would be a 90-minute wait, but it was 45, 50 minutes. It was a pretty long wait already right off, and it was that way at every theme park. I think there are tougher theme parks for this non-fast pass time. And gosh, I hope by the time this podcast comes out, fast passes are back. I'm hearing reports that 2 weeks from now, it'll be back, which would be great. That would be like days before our trip in mid-July. But without fast passes, without that assurance that you can go on some of the headliners, the Hollywood Studios, even Epcot, and maybe even Animal Kingdom, I think all three of those parks are challenging. The big rides fill up. The second tier rides fill up after people get sick of waiting for the headliners. And it's really just Magic Kingdom with its abundant number of rides that can disperse people across the park. The lines were long. We probably didn't wait in any lines longer than 20 minutes other than that Slinky Dog ride. And one time actually for Smuggler's Run. But, I think that's, kind of just going to be the challenge now is navigating it until fast passes come back. And even once the fast passes do come back, navigating it so that you don't have to crisscross. I honestly can't wait for the Genie that they have been promising for years now to hit. If this is what I think we think it is, AI planning your trip to maximize your experience, then I'm all for it. I mean, if Disney wants to parade me around on their schedule because they share the same idea I share, which is I don't want to stand in lines. I'm better to you, Disney, when I'm not in line, when I'm buying food, when I'm buying merchandise, when I'm experiencing joy, not standing in a line, then I'm all about Genie. I think that's gonna work well for people.
Interesting concept that we know they are working on. Well, Glenn, I'm going to finish up, I guess, with our regular listeners. Glenn was so instrumental in starting my Patreon a couple of years ago, and I had an idea that I knew Glenn would spend some extra time with us. So those of you that are Patreon supporters at patreon.com, you can hear more with Glenn, and I always leave some extras and put some stuff in that extra for bonus content. So Glenn and I are going to continue to talk. But I don't know, how do we finish up this trip? What was some of your best takeaways from this, Glenn?
Well, I want to give a couple of quick hacks and shout outs.
All right. Yes, do that.
You know me.
He's known for it.
Yeah, if I'm coming on, there's going to be some tips and hacks that we can work with. And a couple of these I did already share on the Facebook group, but let's put it on the podcast. I'll start with my Hollywood Studios rope drop hack, which is, I think, a good one if you want to maximize a park that I was just mentioning has got some big headliners with big lines. If you're not staying right there on the boardwalk, the goal is get to the boardwalk, not to take the Skyliner, not to take the buses, not to do anything but walk. Walking is the best way to take advantage of Hollywood Studios. So you've got to get yourself to the boardwalk in some way. So this is what I do. We were saying, like I said, at Pop, Skyliners don't run early enough to Skyliner over to the boardwalk or directly to Hollywood Studios. So we took a Lyft or an Uber over to the Swan. This is the closest property. So it's, I think it was $6 or $7 for the Uber early in the morning. Not bad. And if you want to do this very early, the Swan has a breakfast place called Java something or other, Java Nation or something like that. That opens up an hour before the food courts even open up on Disney property. So that's a 6 a.m. at this point versus a 7 a.m. And you can get really delicious breakfast sandwiches. Kind of think Starbucks, those types of sandwiches. Oh, cool. They even have pre-made sandwiches for lunch or whatever you'd want to bring. They have alcohol. You can pack up if you want at this place. So then we take a nice leisurely and beautiful sunrise walk from the Swan over to the boardwalk and do the walk.
I love that walk.
Lovely. Yeah. Over to Hollywood
all
Studios.
About the boardwalk and that a breakfast sandwich. You're selling me.
Yeah. and even if you want to plus it even more, go take that breakfast sandwich over to the boardwalk. There are tons of those chairs that you can sit out
spot.
and look at, I believe that's Crescent Lake over there, and take in sunrise. I would bring extra napkins. Super pro tip on this one. Bring extra napkins from the Java place to wipe down the either dew covered or possibly the Disney guys have been out there watering everything. The seats were quite wet, but wipe that down, sit down, and just enjoy yourself. When you're ready, walk over to Hollywood Studios. You'll be one of the first 50 people in line over there before the buses, the Skyliner, or the cars are let in. This is the best way to get in first.
The audience loves that.
That's my hack there.
That's great.
And funny story, we did that. So we were second in line at the tap styles waiting for them to let us in. And I saw a cast member I remembered from probably 2 years ago, a trip I took, might have been the Harrison trip, 5-year-old trip.
Sure.
And I recognized him and I said, "Hey, Chevy, I remember you. You had a daughter, right?" And he's like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe you remember." We talked and we had laughs last time, and he was really touched by, that a guest would remember him from so many years ago. And just great experiences you have when you're one of those first people. The excitement is a little higher when you're way up in front. So
did you, Mickey, getting in early? So you got into the park early then, right? Before
they let you in early. The tap styles for a 9:00 opening. The tap styles opened at 8:20, and we were walking on to Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway by 8:25. We were off at 8:32, and
well done.
Already heading over to Slinky Dog, where
he's the master.
It was a 50-minute wait.
Glenn is the master. All right, one more. He's got one more.
And this is important for all of my pop geeks. So if you're staying at Pop for G3 and, the buses are not running to Epcot at all. See, they don't run the buses to Epcot from Pop in the morning. They ask you to go on the Skyliner. So the Skyliner will take you to the Caribbean beach. And at that point you would, this is to Epcot, by the way. We're talking about, if you're going to Epcot from Pop, the Skyliner will take you over to the Caribbean Beach Resort, and they will hold you there. They will hold you at the Caribbean Beach stop before they deploy you out to the Epcot loop of the Skyliner, which goes through Riviera and then banks, and before it arrives at International Gateway. They'll hold you there until I think an hour before.
Yeah, it's still opening up at 11, right?
Yeah, at this point, opening up at 11, so they'll hold you there until 10. Kurt, there have to be 1,000 people lined up in that queue.
I've been there. I've been in that queue.
Where are they coming from? They're coming from Art of Animation. They're coming from Pop. And, of course, they're coming from Caribbean Beach Resort. And we're all stuck there waiting. 1,000 people in line.
6 feet apart.
Well,
a little better.
They were starting to soften that by the time I was there, So I've done the walk from that station to the Riviera station. Guys, geeks, keep this amongst yourselves. Yeah. The walk from one station to the next takes about 7 minutes, 10 minutes if you want to really slow down and enjoy yourself. So that's what we did. We walked at about 9:30. We walked from that station where there were 1,000 people along the beautiful beaches of the Caribbean Resort until we got to the Riviera station.
You can make that walk. Yeah. In between.
It's an easy walk. It's a beautiful walk. Again, this is a morning, well, not totally morning, 9:30. So it's not terribly hot.
You can get breakfast there too.
Well, you could do that if you wanted to. Yeah. Primo piatto.
Yeah.
But guess how many people are there at the Riviera station? 12.
Wow.
Maybe. We were one of the first cars. So we're 12th in line. And you're one station ahead of the 1,000 people that are waiting at Caribbean Beach. So not only are you going to be one of the first gondolas to load, but you're going to be getting to the parks, before anyone else. Amazing.
I don't know how you do it, Glenn. You got tips for us every time.
You might meet new people there. I met and made 2 new listeners for you, Kurt. So shout out to Dave and Brandon, who I got to meet, waiting in that line. Absolute geeking on WDW kind of people. We chatted about hacks and
nice.
tips and tricks and DVC and all this good stuff. They were staying at the Riviera, and
I gotta send you business cards.
I'll need some. But yeah, great guys. So happy to
stickers.
And I did want to give one more shout out, if I can, to Mardana Soto. And Mardana is an angel. I got to meet her for the first time.
I love those pictures that you guys, that one you did, well, the first meetup also, but there was one where you guys were in front of Baloo. I think she was up in the second floor and you did a selfie with you in the foreground.
Yeah, this was
her in
the
the background
cutest thing. We didn't even know that we were both staying at Pop before the trip. She had found me. We had communicated that we were both at Pop and going to different parks that first time. And she came out of the bus line to say hi to me. I couldn't get out because I just had Alden with me, but she had her mother and her two daughters with us. And she came over and we met that first time.
How did you connect with each other?
The Messenger. Well, initially just, I was, basically living my life in public on the Geeking on WW page. So she was like, oh, you're at Pop and you're doing these things.
That's how she found you.
And so, she said, so then she messaged me on the Facebook Messenger and we set up a channel to communicate. And that was great because I was sharing tips of where to go to get, the best service for doing our Rise of the Resistance boarding groups. And it turned out that Baloo, right near the pool, was kind of the hot spot. So maybe there's a tower in Baloo's nose. I don't know. Maybe that's it. Maybe Baloo is actually a Wi-Fi tower and all those big guys are increasing our service. Anyway, she was staying right next to Baloo on the second floor over there. So the second time I went and moved over to Baloo to get my Rise group, she was also going that day to Hollywood Studios and she was getting her Rise group. And I got, boarding group 20. She got boarding group 23. We were like right there,
nice.
Thank you, Baloo. And she was standing there in her PJs on the balcony looking down where I was sitting. And, we had to take that picture. It was just a beautiful moment. And we, of course, then met up in the parks and did Rise of the Resistance together. It was her first time, her mother's first time, her kid's first time. Oh. And I love her mother. Oh my gosh. Like she and I think were, in a previous life, we were best friends and we just had a great experience. And she had a teacher friend who she said I reminded her of. They had shared some time, and her kids, Kenzie and Ruby, just adorable and so sweet. We had the best time in the queue and the ride and everything. It was just an awesome experience.
Oh my gosh, Glenn.
Love you, Mardana.
I love that story. You know why I love that story? Because I love the Geek Meets. Well, Glenn, I love you, as you know, and I don't mind saying that.
I love you. And I've trained you well, because from those first, me saying I love you, and then you ended the call to now this.
Well, we're going to keep talking. So if you want to hear us, go check out whenever this comes out on the Patreon. But Glenn, thanks for coming on the show. I hope you stay in touch with us.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Have a great trip here coming up here in July. I can't wait to see all the pictures. We'll have to get you guys. I'm thinking we're going to have to do a roundtable. If we're going to have you, Jeff, and Rob. Who else is going to be there in your next trip?
Selena and Jackie are joining us as well. Yeah, it's going to be nuts. We've got some Oga's reservations together.
I am so jealous. I am. I wish I was going to be there. All right, pal. We'll talk to you real soon.
Real soon. Love you, geeks.
Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.
Oh, I'm looking forward to talking to Glenn and Jeff and Rob, Selena, Jackie. I'm seeing a great picture here of these guys down. Where are they? I think they're in Galaxy's Edge. I see some Geekin' t-shirts, so I can't wait. I think I'm going to do a roundtable with them. If you want to hear more of my chat with Glen Kessler, you can become a Patreon supporter. I'm going to be releasing the extra questions that the Patreon supporters and other geeks asked Glenn, and I continue that conversation, I think, for at least another hour. We were on the phone for like 2.5 hours. So if you'd like to contribute to the podcast, I'd really appreciate it. Go out to patreon.com. That's a website you can search for Geekin' on WDW, and you could pledge a monthly donation to the show. You can do an annual donation there. That's something they set up fairly recently. And I do lots of other audio recordings. I've been putting our weekly Zoom call out there on the Patreon feed. It allows me to put extra bonus podcast episodes. I did a trip report with Amanda Lamb, and I'm planning lots of more content for bonus episodes, but If you enjoy hearing more of Glen Kessler, that's where you can find that. Go out to patreon.com. Look for Geekin' on WDW. That was a fun intro with Jeff and Barry and Connie and Lori and the whole gang. And I'd love for you guys to do some more intros. I wish these guys down at Disney World this week will do an intro for us. I bet they will. It's easy to create. Just take your phone. There's lots of apps on there. You can use the video to record. I'll just rip off the audio. Just tell us your name, where you're from, a fun Disney World fact or two about yourself. And then you go Geekin' on Walt Disney World with Curtis and the whole Geekin' family. Email them to me. Look at your phone in the show notes. You'll see my email, Mom and Judy, the Traveling Tiaras @gmail.com. If you'd like to book your trip with us or transfer a trip. If you're booking your own, that is fine. It's just as easy once you book it within 30 days to transfer it over to us. And we appreciate a lot of our geeks do that. I forgot to ask Mom and Judy. They were helping out Dana Brogneri. Thank you, Dana, for booking your trip with us. And Mom and Judy and Dana were on the phone like 6 a.m. booking those restaurant ADRs. All three of them teamed up. See, you can even do your own booking if you like, but you can have Mom and Judy help you if you transfer that. Or you just book that next trip to Disney World with Mom and Judy, the Traveling Tiaras. Again, email them, travelingtiaras@gmail.com. Because we are committed to helping you enjoy your Disney World vacation, helping you plan it like Mom and Judy do. You can even reach out to me. I'd love for you to come on and do a trip report. You can review your plans with me for your trip. And if you're a podcaster, you'd like to be on my podcast, I'd love to have you and spread the word of your podcast. Thanks for going geeking on Walt Disney World with us. We really appreciate you listening and geeking with us every single day. We love you, geeks. Have a magical day, and I hope all your dreams come true.